We recently did a video all about how you can become a better photographer by just forcing yourself to use one focal length for all of your photography for a set period of time. It really forces you to think about composition and lighting, and it makes you approach photography in a slightly different way. Well, today we're going to talk about a very similar kind of thing. It's a totally different exercise, but it has the same end result, and it might just make you a better photographer. So obviously now when you go out and take photos, maybe you go on a specific shoot, maybe you go somewhere to do landscape or you're doing portrait or whatever it might be, if you're anything like me, you're probably not thinking about how many shots you're taking. You just take the shots, right? As long as you have spare batteries and as long as you have a nice big SD card, or you have maybe more SD cards tucked in your pocket, ready to come out whenever you need them, you're not really thinking about how many shots you take. And for me, that means that I'll routinely take hundreds of shots, if not thousands. You know, if I go out and I really go on a big day-long shoot, I will come back with a ridiculous number of photos. Not a problem. Upload them, go through them, delete the ones I don't want, and edit the ones I do. Done. But when it was film photography, we had to be a lot more deliberate and a lot more selective about the photos we were taking. You'd take an extra 10 seconds, an extra minute maybe, to really compose that shot and really make sure you got the shots that you wanted. So you might still end up going out on a nice long shoot, but you'd come away with a much more deliberate set of photos, because you can't just take 100 photos of the same thing, pick out the best one. You need to make sure you get that right when you take the photo. And I think that that is a skill that really can make you a better photographer. Really anything that forces you to think about the art of photography, to think about the composition, to think about the light, to be patient. You know, if there's a specific scene, a landscape for example, you might be in a situation, I know I have, where you would be better off waiting for one part of the clouds to part and the sun to come through to hit a particular part of the landscape, give you a perfect shot. But sometimes now, especially, you'll take a bunch of shots waiting for that sun to hit, because what if you get back and you like one of those? But with film, you'd have to wait patiently to get that one moment. And I think, like I say, patience, thinking about everything and being deliberate makes for better end result photos and can really improve your ability as a photographer. So the exercise that I've found myself doing to really try and improve myself and to really try and get myself in that headspace is to limit the number of shots that I can take, and I won't even look at them after I've taken them. Sounds a little bit limiting, but it really does make you approach things in a different way. And I'm sure some of you have probably already done this kind of thing before. So for example, you'll head out on a shoot and you'll say to yourself, I can only take 30 photos. I can't check them afterwards. I want to approach this like film photography, and it really changes the way you'll do things. When you go to take that photo, you'll look around. Is there something I could use as a foreground element? Is there something I could use that would be a better framing device? Would it be better if I stood over there? And you'll look and you'll go over there and you'll look and you'll think about how you want to approach this. Do you want to wait 5 minutes to see if the light changes? Do you want to approach things completely differently or go to a different spot? Do you definitely want to take the photo from here, or do you think half a mile down the road is going to be better? And just that decision making will make your photos come out ultimately better, and you'll learn more from the shoot. It's when you're limited and when you're challenged that you really learn more in anything, but certainly in photography as well. It's that limitation that you then have to overcome that will make you a better photographer. So really, this is quite a quick tip, but it's one that can really stay with you for a long time. Go out on a shoot, but tell yourself you have 30 photos. No deleting photos, no redoing a photo. You have 30 shots that you can come away with. You need to take them, and then you need to move on. And when you get back, you can go through them. And it'll be really interesting to see how many of those 30 shots are you gonna keep? How many are you gonna edit? How many are you gonna go ahead with? Because for me, when I do this, I end up with so many more usable shots out of the 30 than I do when I don't limit myself. When I don't limit myself, I'll have 10 of the same thing, I'll pick the best one. But when you're more deliberate about it, it can really make you come out with a better photo. And it really does just come down to that same thing. In all of these tutorials, I almost always end it by saying, if you're deliberately thinking about stuff, if you're making conscious choices, that will almost always result in a better end photo. It'll almost always mean that your photography is better because you're putting more thought, time, and effort into it. And that's never a bad thing. Is this something you've tried? I'd love to hear how it went for you. If it's something you do regularly to try and top up that kind of photography brain, I'd love to hear any tips you have for anyone looking to go and do this. Of course, pop all your things down in the comments because I love reading through all of that stuff. There's a list of all the kit used for all these photos in this video and all this stuff down in the description, so you can go and check that out for yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, as always, thanks for watching.